Welcome to Cindy's Creative Inspirations. I'm Cindy Actona, owner and designer at StampingScrapping.com. Today I'm excited to share with you this fun fall card using Spellbinders dies to create two masking techniques. So let's get started creating this fun card. Here are all the layers we need for the card. Our card front we're going to start with is 5x7. And then I have used the Spellbinders Nestabilities Card Creator Matting Basics A and Matting Basics B. This is the number 7 die, which is the largest in Matting Basics A. And then this is number 7 in the largest Matting Basics B. And then this is die number 6 in Matting Basics A. So this is the largest and the next to the largest in A and the largest in B. And then here I've cut one of the diamond strips and accent dies, and I'll be back in a moment to show you how we're going to layer and put this card together. The next step in our project is to take the fall foliage dies from Spellbinders and to cut these 7 dies using your grand caliber. And you can see I've already cut them. Now you just pop them out, and this is what you're going to be using for your masks. You do not need to emboss them. Here you can see after I pop the cardstock out of the dies that I have both a positive and a negative mask created by each of my 7 dies here. Now we're ready to create our card front using our masks. Now I'm going to be using the negative part of the masks, which is what is left after you take your die cut out. And I've strategically placed these on the front of my card. I've covered up the back of my card, the card's open, I've covered up the back with a scrap piece of paper so I don't overspray onto my card. And I've placed my masks where I wanted them once I put my first layer on. So you kind of have to strategically place those. I'm going to be using Glimmer Mist in 3 different colors, the pomegranate, sugar maple, and jingle bells. However, you can use perfect pearls, you can make your own in your mini misters. There's a lot of different companies out there. I've just chosen the Glimmer Mist. You want to make sure that you shake them well before you spray them to disperse all the mica powders that are inside. So I've used a removable tape and tape the top and the bottom. That way the tape up here doesn't show, and down here again is going to be covered when I put my first layer. And I could have chosen to use actually the positive part, but I chose to use the negative because I want more of a color block on the front of my card. And then one of the layers we're going to actually do the different technique. So let's get started. I have my pomegranate that I've shaken up first, and you want to use a nonstick craft mat surface, something that wipes off easily, and make sure that you have your work surface protected in case you overspray. Now I'm going to use a sugared maple. And then jingle bells. And then I'm going to use my sugared maple down here again. And you see what a beautiful background you have. Now we're going to let that dry, and then I'll remove the masks and I'll show you what's left. Now once it's dry and the masks have been removed, this is what you have left. And I know it doesn't look like anything special, but when we finish, you're going to see that it really adds to the finished card. So I'm going to take Memento Rich Cocoa, and I'm going to actually take my die and I'm going to put it down here. And I'm going to take my finger dauber and I'm going to ink through this to create the veining in the leaf. That's the neat thing about Spellbinders dies, is they're not just for die cutting. You can cut, emboss, and stencil. And that just adds that little bit of veining right there. And then we're going to do the same thing to the pine cone. And again, using the chocolate chip, or actually rich cocoa, I'm going to just go in a circular motion around in here and add in all of these little accents. And there is our pine cone. Now, these don't fit perfectly, but as I was designing, I realized that the Just Right Fall leaf stamps have one of the maple leaves that looks really nice with this one. So I'm actually going to stamp that, and being that they're clear, it's nice because you can see exactly where you're stamping. And again, I'm using the cocoa, and I'm going to stamp right on top of this leaf up here. And that gives you that look. So here is the front of our card. And then now we're going to add all of our layers and our accents. So I'll be back in just a moment with the next steps. So now I've put our first two layers onto the front of my card, and I'm ready to use the positive parts of the masks or the actual cardstock pieces that came out of the die to do the center front of my card. So again, I'm going to be using the exact same colors of the Glimmer Mists. And then we're going to dry that, and I'll show you what it looks like once we remove the mask and the card front center is dry. So here is our card front now that we have dried it and removed all of the masks before we sprayed. And we have the positive left here. And what we are going to do now is we're going to do the same technique we did with the negatives, but we're going to place this over the front, and we're actually going to ink through again, but it's going to give us a different look this time. So there's our pine cone. And now I'm going to use this, which is the leaf die. Put that vein in. We're going to do the same thing with this one. And then again, I'm going to use the Just Right stamps from the Fall Leaves set. And I'm going to stamp here. And down here. I'm going to take just the corner and do this one. And then I'm going to take a smaller leaf and stamp the one down here. And then some of the words. And that will complete the center of our card. So now I've placed the center to the card. You can see the outside using the negative, the inside using the positive. And now I just want to add a little decorative strip from the diamond strips and accents. And this is kind of neat. It's actually two pieces, and one cuts the outside and one cuts the inside. And this is what it looks like. And now what you want to do is just take these and fold them back. You can use a tool, you can use your fingers, whatever works best. You want to do all 8 of them. I love the cut, fold, tuck dies. And then all you do is just tuck them under the one in front. Turn this way, and you're going this way with these. And that gives you this decorative element. And now I'm going to glue it onto the front of my card here. So this was the card once I put everything together, but yet I felt it wasn't complete, so I wanted to now add a saying. and make a more elegant, dressier fall card. So I've cut 2 more Card Creator layers using Card Creator Matting Basics B, and I'm going to use the Just Right set of fall leaf stamps for my saying. Again, the benefit to these is they're clear, so you can see where you're stamping. And then I'm going to use one of the smaller leaves and just stamp on the edges. So here's my saying, and I'm now going to attach that to my next layer. Remember, these are perfect layers every single time, no measuring, and the benefit to them is you don't have to get out your paper trimmer. And then I'm going to pop dot this last layer on using the 3M squares to give my card some dimension. And that finishes my card. So I hope I've inspired you to grab some Spellbinders dies to do some of these fun techniques using masking. Happy creating! Thanks for watching. All of these items can be found on StampingScrapping.com.